Welcome to RVU, an RV Insider podcast where I will interview industry experts, icons, and influencers. Classes in session for all things RV. I'm your host, Angie Morrell, and today I'm so grateful to have Alan Bridges, Vice President of Service Operations.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I got it.
Yes, that's it.
That's a mouthful.
Yes, ma'am.
So what does that mean?
So that means that after the customer has purchased their unit, that if they get on the road, they run into a problem, we're their first call most of the time.
Okay.
Anything related to a problem, we get to deal with.
Okay, and one of the things that's always, that I always think of when I think of Tiffin Motorhomes is their service. I've never talked to a customer that hasn't come back to Red Bay.
Right.
So tell me a little bit of how that process works. After they buy their coach, they have their warranty period
Right.
for a year, and their first call is to you or to their dealer?
Well, their first call would be to their dealer. We have a very strong dealer network, and for whatever reason, when a dealer, maybe we got parts that we can't get to them in time, or sometimes customers actually just enjoy coming to Red Bay, Alabama.
I think they do.
They do, yes, ma'am, yeah.
And after being here this week, I kind of...
You kind of like it too, huh?
I can see why they, I've always wondered, what's in Red Bay, Alabama? So
Bob Tiffin's in Red Bay, Alabama.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So, and a lot of them do prefer. I mean, we have 100 or so technicians that are set up that have had some kind of experience with building their motorhome in their life. So they're well experienced, well equipped to take care of most issues that we might run across. And a lot, they get to come in, customers do, they get a feel for the employees, they meet the guys that are working on their coach, and it's addicting. They just I think they enjoy the process, and what we have to offer here. So that's, most of the time we would like to lean on our dealers and help us in any way that they can, but you do have those Tiffin loyals that want to come to Red Bay.
Yes. Okay. So if they do come to Red Bay, what is the process?
Currently, the process is that they will show up at our campground check-in, which operates 6 to 6, Monday through Sunday.
Oh, okay.
And we do not offer appointments. So they'll come in, they'll check in, they'll get what we call a windshield number, and they'll carry that to the front office, and they'll go see our documentation team. Our documentation team, they'll take their punch list, their list of concerns, and we'll note it. We'll try to line that up, and then they deal with our scheduler, Miss Penny, who will assign them accordingly within the shop, whether it be mechanic, paint, body, etc. But right now we do have an express bay. Should you just come in and like your transfer switch went out, we normally can turn them in 3 or less hours.
Oh, wow. That's great. So how many bays do you have dedicated to the express customer, and then how many are dedicated to those that have, maybe a little bit more of a list of items that need to be repaired?
Right. So what we dedicate to the express is 5 bays, and we operate those in 3 or less hours. If your job can be done in less than 3 hours, then that's where you'll slide, and that's normally a pretty quick turn for that. The other bays are more complicated, complex, because they deal with cabinetry. They flow through the planning production, right?
Mm-hmm. So typically when a customer comes in and they have a list of, let's say, 10 items,
right?
What's a normal list?
Ooh, that's a load. Depends on how well we did. A normal list would be 10 to 15.
Okay.
And typically those can be done, unless there's some kind of major malfunction, we can get them in and out relatively quick. Right now, I think the average wait time, if you're not going to express, is only 3 days. And we do have the provided campground, that.
Oh, okay. That was my next question.
If you're within your warranty. If you're outside of your warranty, we offer you the campground, but you have to pay to stay.
Okay. So it is first come, first serve.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and how long has it always been like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Always?
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
So they may wait 3 days, then they'll get into service, and then it just depends on...
It goes through the process, yes,
okay,
ma'am.
Okay. And then you have a campground for those that are in warranty, and then another campground where you can just... Or the same campground?
Same campground, yes, ma'am. Just allocated spots for those that might be outside of their year warranty.
Okay. So what are the road bumps that you come across in service department and getting customers out the door, keeping them happy? What are the biggest issues that you have to deal with?
Yeah, I think internally, the issues that we have would be, we're working toward a way where we could receive appointments. That's a fairly big deal, because if we can receive your appointment, we have an idea of your expected work, then we can get behind the scenes and be making sure we have materials, parts, make sure we got everything in line, and that way that would give our customer a better experience. And that's something that we want to do as a customer-driven company, is make sure it's there are owners who enjoy.
I was going to say the owner, the Tiffin owner group might go, wait, we like to come and wait in line.
So we're going to try our best to have a mixed array of options for customers, because we realize they do enjoy the opportunity to stay. It gives them time as owners to collaborate and communicate and enjoy the city. There's a lot to enjoy here in Red Bay, Alabama.
There is. It's actually been really fun while I've been here, just meeting different owners and talking with different owners. So there is a lot of camaraderie there. Tell me about your service of legacy at Tiffin.
Bob Tiffin. Is that fair enough?
That is fair enough. Man, I got to speak with him, and really, he's iconic, and
he's a special man. I started with Tiffin Motorhomes in 2011, and I was driving a forklift. I was dumping trash, actually, and we had the recession hit, had some things that kind of happened, and I ended up taking on more responsibilities so that we could keep rolling as a company. Just an interesting story about Mr. Bob. Mr. Bob called and requested a pallet of the brochures, the Roughing It Smoothly magazines. And I shot off across the parking lot, and those magazines went everywhere.
Oh, no.
But it was right across from the main office, and I'll tell you that out of all the employees inside Tiffin Motorhomes, Bob Tiffin himself was the one who walked out of his office. And he asked me, I'll never forget, he said, "You in a hurry?" I said, "Yes, sir, I'm in a hurry, Mr. Tiffin." And he helped me pick up every magazine. And when we got done, he said, "Now you slow down a little bit, okay?" I said, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir."
Oh, that's great. He's a great leader and a great, obviously he is why Tiffin is what it is today.
Yes, ma'am. That's you want to know legacy. That's it. It's, and the opportunity that we have now is to preserve that legacy and uphold our commitment to our customers. And that's my role. If you wanted to know what the service ops VP did, that's what he does.
Well, and that's really, so tell me more about your commitment to backing your warranty.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. We have a limited warranty, but at the end of the day, the best way to describe that is Tiffin Motorhomes is committed to doing the right thing. If you have a failure within the year warranty and something has unfortunately happened, I think that our history speaks for itself. You call in, and we're going to do all we can do to take care of you. And then outside of that, we have opportunity too. We have the technicians, we have the availability. We're going to provide service to your coach as long as you own your coach in some way, shape, or form.
So tell me, I know that with National Indoor RV Centers, one of our, the road bumps for us is the technicians, just the lack of technicians and, constant need for more. With all these gorgeous motorhomes on the road, we want, to be able to get our customers, we'd love to get them out the same day,
Right.
Come in and out the same day. So, how do you deal with that at Tiffin?
For the service center, to be just completely honest, we do not have a lot of tech turnover. I think that
is that kind of they've worked their way up to make it to the service center?
I think it's a little bit of that. I think a lot of it is though just the way the company was built on relationships, and once you come from production to the service center, you get a feel for, you see the owner, you get to experience their side of things, and it's really contagious. You kind of, a lot of the men and women that work within Tiffin Motorhomes take great pride in what they do, and they want to see the customer satisfied. They truly do.
So what would you say, are most your technicians in the service center longtime employees of Tiffin?
It's blended right now. We have several well-experienced technicians. Actually, tomorrow in our company all-hands meeting, I'm going to hand a plaque to a guy for 10 years. So I would say 10 to 15 years is probably roughly a good average for our techs. But we do have some of the newer generation that have come in and really excelled. And So we're doing a transfer of knowledge right now in a lot of ways. Taking that experience and trying to build upon it is what we're trying to do.
Want to get the most out of your RV lifestyle? Join AIM Club. This all-inclusive motorhome club connects you with fellow RV enthusiasts all across the country and guarantees you access to some of the best rallies in amazing locations. Members also get exclusive discounts on many valuable products and services to make RV lifestyle better. Learn more about all the benefits and fun of AIM Club at aimclub.org.
THIA by Proteng is a patent-pending advanced fire suppression system. In the event of an RV fire, the Proteng devices quickly and automatically disperse FM200, an extinguishing agent that covers the heat source and can prevent, suppress, and extinguish fires. THIA by Proteng systems are customized to each RV and consist of multiple self-contained devices that wind through specific areas of the RV that can be prone to fire. There's no better protection for you and your RV. Learn more at otrdistribution.com.
In the market for a new or new-to-you RV? Check out National Indoor RV Center's massive nationwide inventory. NIRVC has a wide selection of Class A, Class B, and Class C RVs. And their one-stop shop approach means you can count on their trusted experts for sales, service, storage, and more. Experience the NIRVC difference. Visit NIRVC.com. So how did, COVID, we're all coming out of the COVID years where things were just crazy. Parts were scarce, long wait time for things. How has Tiffin recovered from those issues, and what are you doing to make that easier going forward?
Yeah, I would say we're still on the midway of recovery, to say the least. It's it's complicated. The market's in a peculiar situation, and that kind of can cause companies to tighten up and stuff. So we're doing all we could do. Like I shared with you earlier, we feel like at the service center, if we can generate appointments, that's going to allow it. If we have if we do have a component that has a long lead time, we at least as a owner, you can be told here's what to expect, rather than showing up as our first come first serve process and running into we're glad you're here, we're grateful for you.
Now we got to wait a month for a part.
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
What do you do when that happens? What do you do when you know that there's going to be a lead time of at least a month? Because that happens to us at National RV Centers.
The only thing we can do is be honest with our owners and let them know what we're looking at. We will we'll call on if we have other options. Sometimes you can upgrade a component instead of getting the basic, or maybe even the basic instead of the upgrade. We just evaluate those case by case with each owner and kind of let them tell us what they'd like to see done, and tell them we're very sorry for the circumstance.
I know that I was able to do a full-length video of one of your products yesterday. I was very impressed with the quality and craftsmanship that I saw there, and how quiet the coach was. So how do you think your quality is? I know that there may have been, like, during those COVID years, maybe a little bit more trouble. Do you see what trend do you see with Tiffin?
I believe that Tiffin Motorhomes right now is building the best quality coaches they've ever built. We've got an excellent vice president of operations, Jamie Myrick. He's really drilled in. He's got a great team around him, and we're as a company we're using the current situation that we're all in as a time to really get a well-rounded look at the future and try to embrace where we're at and just maximize quality. The quality is one of the biggest focuses in this company right now, and I would say right now we're probably above the competition, in my opinion, for what we're putting out. And I think you might agree.
Yeah. Oh, I was so impressed. It's been great. So are you seeing that also in your service department?
We are.
Less
Yes,
defects per unit, or are you involved at all on the quality side before a unit leaves?
From repair or from production?
From production.
We are not. They do their PDI and their checkoffs, but no, as far as the service team, we're not involved. We do have our own quality team within service that will you come in and check your repair out and make sure you're satisfied before you leave. But I'm not involved.
Oh, okay. You do have a QC,
We do, yes,
final
ma'am.
QC after the repairs
Yes,
been
ma'am.
made.
Actually, I was stopped on my way into the office this morning by a technician, and he was adamant to show me. He said, "Hey, I got a 23 here. I want you to come look at." I said, "Okay." And when they come to you, kind of embrace. You're like, "Okay, what am I going to see?" And he had 6 defects in that coach, and he was tickled to death at the quality. He said, "Man, I haven't seen one like this in a really long time."
That's great. Yeah.
That gives you some insight.
Well, that's it for me as well. Typically, when I do my videos, I'm getting the coach pretty early, right out of production. And sometimes I find some of those little things that they're missing, or something that may not work just right. And I was thinking back, and I'm like, yesterday everything worked. Your slides, they're so fast, man. That was awesome. And I was very impressed with the product. So in service, when you see a issue that's repeated over and over again, what is your process to communicate that back to the production team?
It's a very good question. So at the production level, our teams have a end of the day 2:30 quality meeting every day. And so what we have worked trying to figure out is, okay, what on these repeat repairs, we've got.
And what do you consider a repeat? If you've seen something, how many times? When does that bell go off? Like, we need to double check this.
It's a great question.
Sorry.
Right now, the repeat repairs would be qualified as something that tech might bring to the QC's attention and say, "Hey, man, we've seen this 4 times today." Once we're alerted to that, the QC team is now working on some trending and tracking, and we can start getting an analysis. That way we could feed it back at the production level and say, "Hey, we're seeing this, just so you know." But if it's something that we know is a repeat repair and get any kind of management involved, we'll stop, and we'll sometimes even make a trip to the plant over here just to follow up with the supervisor and let them know what we're seeing. And we found a lot of quick fixes to happen that way.
Yeah, I noticed that too, like in our shops, when we find that a repeat issue over and over again, typically there's one technician that figures out how the fix.
Right, correct.
And then how do you communicate that to the rest of your team to make sure you're doing it the easy way, that you're not trying to all solve the problem separately and that you're working together on that?
As far as in-house at the service center, we have 8 o'clock production meetings, and that's where this kind of information will kind of come out of. And then if we believe we have the solution, then our director of operations, Josh Stacy, he will carry that information to the director of manufacturing over here, and they'll tag up, and then they'll translate that throughout the company. That's the best way. We found that to be one of the better ways to communicate. But these are small town, local people. Sometimes Bobby knows Susie, so he'll just call her and say, "Hey, you need to stop doing this."
So, and then when you find something like that, an issue that needs to be fixed or repaired, do you communicate that to the dealer network for those technicians that are getting your coaches in at the dealership level?
Right. Great question. At this time, I don't know how much of that is fed back at that level. That actually is a very good point that you make. We do have a warranty and service tech manager, Mr. Richard Blanton, and I believe that he would feedback what he knows, but I think you just brought out a good opportunity to get more inclusion there, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I think, that's one of the frustrations. If there's an easy fix, you're building them, you probably know your product. Well, I'm sure you know your product better than, I hope so, than anyone else. That, the instruction and information that you could give would be super valuable at the dealer.
Yeah, you bring out a very good
level.
point. Yeah, that's and that would play into the dealer and the manufacturer relationship, which is a point of emphasis that we're working on right now to maximize.
Okay, that's great. So now over by the service center, I hear that there's an Allegro Club.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. The
little nightclub? No.
Yes, ma'am. There is. The Allegro Club is just an opportunity for our owners just to experience their purchase together. It really Tiffin's has several rallies throughout the year where they get to come in and just experience what it's like owning a Tiffin, because it's a very unique opportunity for our owners. And also that's, if you're watching today and be interested in coming to Red Bay, that's where you would go and I guess you could say, hang out while your coach is in the shop during the 8-hour shift. The Allegro Club.
So you actually have a big building, or
Yes,
what is
ma'am.
it? Okay.
They have a storefront.
Oh,
Is what
okay.
they have. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And the owners go in there. They watch TV. They got a pet lounge that they could carry their pets in. And Miss Lisa, who manages all that for us, she helps them, make sure they understand where they can eat, other activities that may be going on in Red Bay, and set them up for the plant tour. Just kind of like a pit stop while you're waiting on your coach to be repaired.
That's great. So, is there a lot of things to do in Red Bay while they're waiting? Now this is your chance to tell me all about Red Bay.
There's opportunity in Red Bay. There's a country club. I'm very proud to know that we have a opportunity to have a country club in Red Bay, and a lot of our owners will come in and find out that someone plays golf, and before you know it, you got a crew playing together, and you didn't even mean to be. So there's that, and there's several opportunities for restaurants. Different. Pizza. Every town in America has to have a Mexican restaurant, right?
Absolutely.
So there's several of those, and they're just basic small town, hometown activities that take place.
It's a beautiful area. I'm amazed.
Nice park right across the road from us right here.
Well, that's great. So at National Indoor RV Centers, we're all about the RV revolution in the fact that we are always trying to advance the RV lifestyle, make it easier for our customers. Bring new things to market, like the Music City Motorhome Expo that we're doing next summer, kind of a VIP shopping experience, different than they've ever done before in the RV industry. So what are you doing at Tiffin in the service department that is advancing the RV revolution?
Boy, that's really great questions, Miss Angie. We currently we are completely renovating our shop. We've increased the capabilities of our cabinet shop. Our warehouse has been completely renovated, turned upside down, and redone. And right now we're in the process of what we're calling our customer experience lounge. We're built where the owner may come in and check out or leave. We're trying to give them a room that fits their Class A motorhome, very luxurious look. And then we're always exploring and looking for options. So please tell.
Well, I always say that, we kind of consider our service department the hospital. We don't want to spend too much time at any hospital, right? We don't want their RV in the hospital. We want them out enjoying the lifestyle and giving them a nice place to visit, though, and relax while their coach is in the hospital or getting fixed. So it sounds like you've got the same idea in mind at Tiffin. So we really are excited to carry the Tiffin product and excited for the partnership to grow between Tiffin and National Indoor RV Centers. So super glad to have you here with me today, Alan, and appreciate that. If you would like to learn more about the items that we discussed in today's podcast, you can click the link below in the podcast description. Also, if you enjoyed this podcast, well, do us a favor. So show your friends, share it with your friends, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. Make sure you tune into our next episode so that you don't miss which industry expert, icon, or influencer is up next. Until then, class is dismissed, and we'll see you down the road.